You know how a GPS works, right? You put in your destination, and it calculates the exact route to get you there. But here's what's fascinating: the GPS doesn't just know where you're going, it knows exactly where you are right now, every twist and turn you've made, and precisely how to guide you forward. Now imagine if I told you that God has something infinitely more sophisticated than any GPS system, and it's been tracking your life since before you were even born. In fact, right at this moment, as you're listening to these words, the divine navigation system is about to reveal something about your purpose that will change everything. I want to take you into one of the most mind-blowing passages in all of Scripture, Psalm 139, but I'm going to show you something that most people completely miss. Most people read this psalm and think it's just about God knowing everything about us. But that's barely scratching the surface. This psalm is actually a detailed blueprint of how God's GPS system works in your life, and when you understand it correctly, it becomes the most powerful tool for discovering your true purpose. Let me read you something that will shake you to your core. David writes in Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16, "For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made, your works are wonderful, I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body, all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Do you realize what this is saying? God didn't just create you and then figure out what to do with you later. Every single day of your life was written in His book before you took your first breath. Your purpose wasn't an afterthought, it was the very reason you were designed the way you are. But here's where it gets absolutely incredible, and this is where Archangel Uriel comes into this revelation. Uriel, whose name means fire of God or light of God, is the archangel specifically assigned to illuminate divine purposes and reveal God's plans. When you're struggling to find your purpose, when you feel lost or confused about your direction, Uriel is the heavenly messenger who brings clarity and divine insight. And here's what most people don't understand: Uriel works directly through the revelation of Psalm 139. Let me tell you about a moment that changed my entire understanding of this. I was going through one of the darkest periods of my life, feeling completely purposeless, like I was just drifting without any real direction. I had been reading Psalm 139 for years, but it felt like just beautiful poetry about God's omniscience. Then one night, as I was crying out to God for clarity about my purpose, something extraordinary happened. I was reading verse 16 again, "Your eyes saw my unformed body, all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." But this time, instead of just reading it, I felt this overwhelming presence, this divine light that seemed to illuminate the words in a completely new way. It was as if Uriel himself was standing there, opening my spiritual eyes to see what this verse really meant. Suddenly I understood, this wasn't just saying that God knows our future. This was revealing that our entire life, including every struggle, every challenge, every moment of confusion, was specifically designed to lead us to our ultimate purpose. The word ordained in Hebrew is yatzar, which means to form with intention, like a potter carefully shaping clay. God didn't just allow your days to happen, He intentionally formed each one to shape you for your specific calling. But here's the revelation that will transform how you see your entire life, even the days you consider mistakes, even the seasons you call failures, even the moments you wish you could erase, were all written in God's book as essential chapters in your purpose story. Uriel's fire doesn't just illuminate your destiny, it reveals how every single experience has been preparing you for what's coming next. Think about this for a moment. Verse 7 says, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence?" This isn't about God being inescapable in a restrictive way. This is about divine guidance being so comprehensive that no matter where you've been, no matter what detours you've taken, you're still exactly where you need to be for your purpose to unfold. I want you to understand something that's going to shift your entire perspective. When David says in verse 2, "You know when I sit and when I rise, you perceive my thoughts from afar," he's not describing divine surveillance. He's describing divine partnership. God knows when you sit because he's orchestrating your rest. He knows when you rise because he's directing your movement. He perceives your thoughts because he's the one inspiring your next steps. Archangel Uriel operates as God's messenger of purpose revelation. When you feel stuck, when you can't see the next step, when your purpose feels hidden, Uriel is assigned to bring that divine fire that burns away confusion and illuminates clarity. But here's what you need to understand: Uriel doesn't reveal your purpose by giving you a completely new direction. He reveals your purpose by showing you how everything you've already experienced has been preparing you for this moment. Let me share something specific that happened to someone I know. She had been struggling for years, jumping from job to job, relationship to relationship, feeling like she couldn't find her place anywhere. She felt like a complete failure, like she had wasted years of her life. Then she discovered this revelation about Psalm 139 and began praying specifically for Uriel to illuminate God's purpose in her life. Within weeks, everything began to connect. She realized that every job had taught her a specific skill she would need. Every relationship had shown her a particular aspect of human nature she would need to understand. Every failure had developed a strength she would need to possess. It wasn't that she had been wandering aimlessly, she had been in divine training, and every experience was a carefully orchestrated lesson in her purpose curriculum. This is what verse 16 means when it says, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book." Your purpose isn't something you have to find, it's something that's been finding you through every experience you've had. Uriel's role is to help you see the divine thread that connects everything together. Right now, I want you to do something specific. I want you to ask Archangel Uriel to illuminate 3 specific areas of your life. First, ask him to show you the divine pattern in your experiences. What skills, insights, or strengths have you developed through your journey that seemed random but now you can see were intentional? Second, ask him to reveal the divine burden in your heart. What injustice makes you angry? What problem keeps you awake at night? What need do you see that others seem to ignore? That burden is often the doorway to your purpose. Third, ask him to illuminate the divine confirmation in your spirit. What activities make you feel most alive? When do you feel like you're operating in your sweet spot? When do people consistently come to you for help or advice? But here's what I need you to understand about working with Archangel Uriel in discovering your purpose: he doesn't just reveal what you're supposed to do, he reveals who you're supposed to become. Psalm 139 verse 14 says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." The Hebrew word for fearfully is iyeh, which means with reverent awe. You weren't just made, you were crafted with such intentional detail that it should inspire reverent awe. Uriel's fire reveals that your purpose isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become in the process of accomplishing it. Every challenge you've faced has been developing character. Every setback has been building resilience. Every moment of confusion has been increasing your dependence on divine guidance. You're not just being prepared to do something, you're being prepared to become someone. Here's something that's going to revolutionize how you approach your purpose. Verse 5 says, "You hem me in behind and before, and you lay your hand upon me." The word hem in Hebrew is sotsua, which means to bind or to besiege, but not in a restrictive way. It's like being surrounded by divine protection and guidance. Your purpose isn't a destination you're trying to reach, it's a path you're walking, surrounded by divine guidance at every step. This means that your next step toward your purpose isn't about making some dramatic life change. It's about recognizing the divine guidance that's already surrounding you right now. Uriel's illumination often comes through what seems like ordinary circumstances, but when you have spiritual eyes to see, you recognize the extraordinary divine orchestration happening in the mundane moments. I need you to understand something crucial about timing and purpose. Verse 16 says that all your days were written in God's book before one of them came to be. This means that your purpose has perfect divine timing. You're not behind schedule. You're not too late. You're not too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too damaged. You're exactly where you need to be for the next chapter of your purpose to unfold. Archangel Uriel specializes in divine timing revelation. When you feel like you've missed your opportunity, Uriel brings the fire that burns away that lie and illuminates the truth that your greatest days are still ahead of you. When you feel like you should be further along, Uriel reveals that every moment of preparation has been necessary for what's coming next. Here's what I want you to do starting today. Begin each morning by reading Psalm 139 verses 23 to 24, "Search me, God, and know my heart, test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." This is David's prayer for divine guidance and purpose revelation. But I want you to pray it with specific intention, asking Archangel Uriel to illuminate any areas where you're resisting your purpose, any fears that are holding you back, and any next steps you need to take. Then throughout your day, pay attention to what I call Uriel moments, those sudden insights, unexpected opportunities, or divine connections that seem to appear out of nowhere. Your purpose often reveals itself through these seemingly coincidental moments that are actually divine appointments orchestrated by heaven. Let me pray with you right now, and I want you to receive this prayer as a direct activation of your purpose discovery. Father, I come before you right now on behalf of every person listening to these words. You know their name, you know their heart, you know their deepest longing to discover and walk in their divine purpose. Right now, I ask you to dispatch Archangel Uriel to bring divine illumination and clarity to their life. Lord, your word says in Psalm 139 that you have searched them and known them. You know when they sit and when they rise. You perceive their thoughts from afar. You are familiar with all their ways. Right now, let that truth sink deep into their spirit. They are not unknown, they are not forgotten, they are not purposeless. You have been orchestrating their entire life story for this moment of purpose revelation. Archangel Uriel, I ask you to bring your divine fire to burn away every lie of purposelessness, every feeling of insignificance, every thought that their life doesn't matter. Illuminate their mind with divine clarity about their calling. Show them the divine thread that connects all their experiences. Reveal to them the divine burden you've placed in their heart. Open their eyes to see the divine opportunities that surround them right now. Father, your word says that all their days were ordained and written in your book before one of them came to be. Right now, I declare that they are not behind schedule, they are not too late, they are not disqualified by their past. Every experience has been preparation. Every challenge has been training. Every setback has been set up for their comeback. I pray that you would remove every obstacle that has been blocking their purpose. Break through every fear that has been paralyzing their progress. Silence every voice that has been telling them they're not qualified, not ready, not worthy. Your word says they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and I declare that over their life right now. Uriel, bring divine connections into their path. Open doors that no one can shut. Provide resources they need for their next step. Give them supernatural favor and divine appointments. Let them begin to see your hand orchestrating circumstances for their good and your glory. Father, I ask that you would give them a divine download of their next steps. Not the entire blueprint, but clear direction for what they need to do today, this week, this month. Give them courage to act on the revelation you provide. Give them wisdom to recognize your voice above all the other voices competing for their attention. Right now, I speak life over their dreams. I speak resurrection over their buried hopes. I speak activation over their dormant gifts. I speak acceleration over their purpose timeline. What the enemy meant for evil, you are turning for good. What seemed like wasted years are actually preparation years. What felt like detours were actually divine routes to their destiny. I pray that they would begin to see themselves the way you see them, as your masterpiece, created for good works that you prepared in advance for them to do. Let them walk in the confidence of their divine identity and the clarity of their divine assignment. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen. If God just spoke to your heart through this message, if you felt His presence illuminating your purpose, if you sensed Archangel Uriel bringing clarity to your calling, I need you to type "My purpose is unfolding" in the comments right now. I want to see your declaration of faith, and I want to pray specifically over every person who responds. Your purpose matters to God, it matters to the world, and it matters to me. Don't keep this revelation to yourself, share this message with someone who needs to discover their divine purpose today. God is about to do something extraordinary in your life, and your obedience to share this word might be the key that unlocks someone else's destiny.